It features some of the most memorable scenes in American film history. From the helicopter raid on a Viet Cong village, scored to Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries, to this famous line uttered by Robert Duvall's character, Lieutenant Bill Kilgore.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Apocalypse Now is an iconic film. One of the best movies ever made about the Vietnam War, brilliantly directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It was adapted from the classic 19th century novel by Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness.
Well, the basic premise of the movie is that Martin Sheen plays Captain Willard, who is done some previous work for the CIA, some assassination missions that he cannot talk about, and he's hired by Army intelligence to go down the river in Vietnam and locate a Colonel Kurtz, played by Marlon Brando, who has gone rogue. They feel that they no longer have any control over this man, and they order Martin Sheen to terminate him.
But the story behind the film is anything but simple. Apocalypse Now was fraught with problems during its production in the Philippines in the spring and summer of 1976.
A typhoon hit the Philippines at one point that completely destroyed sets. At one point, Martin Sheen had a heart attack on the set. He had suffered severe chest pains. They found out that he had a serious heart attack, so he was sidelined for several weeks while they had to film stuff on the boat without him.
Horror has a face, and you must make a friend of horror.
Marlon Brando, meanwhile, arrived to the set much heavier than expected. So Coppola primarily shot his scenes in close-ups and in shadows. On the set, Coppola encouraged improvisation, but he couldn't come up with an ending for the film, and the experience became increasingly troubling to him.
He thought that he was making not only a bad picture, but a pretentious picture, and he felt that he was not going to come out of this alive. There was even times where he considered committing suicide.
Coppola was finally able to finish shooting by 1977, but post-production took another 2 years.
There was a number of different concerns with the post-production. One, obviously, all the amount of footage that was shot and trying to get it down to a manageable length.
By this time, the director noticed that the film had morphed into something more than just a conventional war epic. After winning the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, Apocalypse Now premiered in New York and Los Angeles on August 15, 1979. And the film was a hit, with both audiences and critics alike. By the 2000s, it had become a masterpiece to many, ranked among the best films of all time.
The genius of Apocalypse Now is that it does sort of really reflect the experience of the war. Whether or not it answers all the questions about the war, it answers our fears, what we feared Vietnam was like for the people that were on the ground.
Those who participated in the filming of Apocalypse Now say that the film was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.